You won't get a job without learning Git. Here are the 13 Git commands that you have to learn before you can become an employable software engineer. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my top 13 Git commands that I use on a daily basis as a senior software engineer in Silicon Valley, why they're important, and how you can use them immediately. So the first command we're going to get started with, which is one of the most important, is git clone. And cloning a repository allows you to start working on it locally in your command line using Git. So in a repository, we have this code button to clone. We won't get into the difference between SSH and HTTPS. I recommend SSH. So just for the sake of this video, we're going to clone using SSH. So you want to start from your desktop repository because it's going to create a new directory that is the same name as the folder you're cloning into. So this one would be front-end school. So we go back, and then I'm just going to git clone. And this is going to create a directory called front-end school, and all I'm going to do is cd into front-end school. And now we can start contributing to the project. Something I want to point out, though, is you can only clone directly from the repository if you own or you're a part of the team of the repo. Most times when you are working on an open source project or someone else's project and you don't have that access, you're going to need to do what's called a fork. And it's essentially creating a copy of the repository in your user. So look out for that. If you're working on an open source project, it's the same flow. There's a couple configuration options that you need to work through, but it's something to be aware of. So now that we have cloned, we want to create a new branch because we never want to commit or push directly to main or master. Depending on the project you're in, they could be called different things. So the first thing we need to do is learn how to create a new branch. So I'm going to create a new branch using the git checkout -b Scott. This is whatever. This could be bananas, whatever you want. YouTube test. So now I can make changes and do whatever I want. So whenever we're working on a new project or a new feature or a new bug fix or a new chore, we always create a new branch, and we never, ever push or commit to main or master. I don't care if it's your own personal project. It's a bad habit to get into, so please avoid this. So next we're going to talk about switching branches with a fun little hotkey that I like, hot command, I should say, and how we delete the branch. So git checkout. Also, you can pass the dash command and you can switch between branches. You can also use this in cd or change directory, some other Unix commands. So if I wanted to switch back to main and I didn't want to type main again, I can just throw the slash command, the dash command rather, and I'll get back to main. I can do the same thing and get back to YouTube test. Saves so much time typing. It's one of my favorite things to use. So now we're going to talk about how you delete a branch. So the branch command, and we pass the -D flag to the branch name. And that deletes the branch. Be careful doing this. You might need to do it sometimes. I use this a lot. Know what you're doing, but this allows you to delete the branch. So now everything on that branch is gone. So if you need it again, you're kind of screwed. So now if I try and go to git checkout YouTube test, it won't be there. Is not found. So when I get a new project, or I want to see, like, I have a buddy named James, and James has been working on the same feature as me or the same project, and I want to see what he's been up to on the branch. So I use the commands log and reflog a lot, and for the sake of today, let's just worry about log. So I can run git log on the main branch, and it tells me all of the history. Okay, so we have an initial commit by date. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, we have update readme. Not very good descriptions, but you get the point. So if I use our command to make a new branch, Scott, and then I go. So then if I change something, we'll go over these commands later, git add and git commit. Watch me. Okay, great, gave me some information. If I run git log on Scott, we'll have watching me as the commit. But then if I go back to main, it won't be there, which is okay. That's great. So you can use git log to see the history of each branch and what's been going on. So what do we like to do to files? We like to create them, save them, edit them, remove them. It's part of being a developer. This can get tricky with Git though, and I'm going to show you why. So let's say I want to make a new file called youtube.md. Awesome. Hello world. Cool. So if I run git status, another command you should know, it's going to say untracked files, which means it's not, if I go to GitHub or my branch, it's not going to be in there. But if I add it, it's going to start being tracked. So this is a great time to introduce git add. So I want to add the file. Awesome. Git status. So we just learned two. So don't forget that. Git status and git add. Git status shows me the status of where things are. Git add adds the file to be tracked. We can remove it from being tracked by using restore staged. The directions and documentation is so helpful in Git. Awesome. I'm going to commit these. Oh, well, I'm on main. What did I just tell you? Don't do that. So I'm going to move to Scott, git status. My changes are going to be there. Awesome, because I don't want to make the commit on main. So I'm going to make the commit. We'll talk about these later. Don't worry. Another command that we just introduced you to. Add youtube.md file. Awesome. If I check git status again, then we're clear. If I check git log, I just added the YouTube file. Okay, cool. That's not what I wanted to talk about. What if I wanted to rename this file? What if, and then we're going to talk about removing the file, which is even trickier. If I wanted to rename this file to like youtubescott.md, like, yeah, I could rename the file here. Like, let's see what happens. Yeah, so it deleted YouTubeMD and recreated this file for us, which I don't really like. So I don't break anything. I added, I can't spell because you're watching me. Oh, and I deleted the file, so it wants me to do both. Let's see what we did. I'm just checking status and doing some things. So it renamed it. That was kind of scary. I'm going to git commit, make a message, kind of scary. Oh, I missed a quote. Okay. So check log. All right, so we have the file now. It's been renamed. I hate that. I use git move. YouTube. You're making me nervous, guys. I can't spell. youtube.md. I want to move. I use git move to move the file, i.e. rename it. So YouTube, what is this? YouTubex.md to scott.md. What's git status going to do? It just renames it for you. You can also like move the file, like, oh, if I made a directory, we can move the file that way. But I love using git move to rename the file because it does less scary things. So remember that. And the reason why that's important is because under version control, we can do things in our project, but that doesn't mean that Git is doing the right thing, and you can have some serious issues, and we're going to cover removing the file next. So removing the file is super scary, but also fun. All right, so we're going to just commit this, rename, whatever. Fine. So I want to remove the .scott.md file. I don't need it anymore. I don't just want to delete it here or rm the file, because then Git's not going to track it properly, or we're going to get into some hairy situations. So what we need to do is use the git rm command, and it just removes the file from the Git version. So all I'm going to do is remove .scott.md, check status. It's going to say deleted. Awesome. It's already staged for us. Git commit, removed .scott.md. Boom. Done. Now it's been deleted. We covered git add and git commit super quick. I want to make sure that we go over those. So all I'm doing is making... Oh, my file was deleted. All I'm doing is making a change. So, all right, debugging, and I added a space. So if we use our handy git status... Oh, you guys are making me nervous. I can't type. So I modified the change. If I want that change to be tracked to commit, I have to use git add. We can use... I most times than not use git add dot, which just adds everything in every file. But if we want to be programmatic and like tight about it, let's just use the file name. So then when I do git status, it's like, oh, cool. It's been modified and it's queued up to be committed. Awesome. Then if I make another change, it's going to say, hey, you made some more changes. You have these changes staged. What do you want to do? If I just commit right now, it will, we can see this in our UI, it's going to commit removing the XX and adding the spaces, which is what we just did. If I add again, then it's going to add these changes, and then we commit, and it'll just be these changes. It'll be the combination of the two. So pick your poison. But while we're in add, we can also restore. Like, oh, you know what? I didn't mean to put the LL there. So I can just use git restore file name. Hopefully you can see this. Then I go back to git status. Oh, cool. What changes did I make? Let's check our UI. Oh, yeah. Okay, those are the changes I want. Awesome. Actually, you know what? I don't like that space. Oh. Let's hit the readme. It's like, I don't like this space because I'm anal, and so are all developers. And then I go, okay, cool. Well, I want to make sure I get those changes in. Oops. Let's check the UI. Like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, cool. So now we're going to use the commit. And commit is writing history. It's like right now we're git adding and playing, and commit is when it gets serious. You're committing, like you're in a committed relationship. This is something that we cannot go back from. We'll go over that in a bit. But you're about to write it to history, so make sure it's what you want. I know Git's really scary. You just need practice. You just need to play around like I'm playing around, and you're going to get so comfortable, and you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay. So just do more. Hit more commands, and you'll feel good about this. So I'm going to commit these changes, and how commit works is you pass and there's a lot of flags, but the main one we use is the -m to pass a message. So what you like to do is say what you did. Removed XX from debugging header. And that's what is going to be written in history. You can be more semantic by saying docs or chore, something like that. So commit messages can be anything you want, bananas. But when I read what's going on, I want to understand what you did as a developer looking in the outside, so that if I need to fix something or see what you did, I can easily do that. So we're going to say docs, update, docs. Cool. Ignore these messages because I haven't set up my thing on this computer. So one file change. Okay, cool. Git log. Awesome. Update docs. Perfect. We're getting somewhere. Another command I use a lot is git cherry pick, which is one of my favorites. So let's say we're working on a branch and we're like, you know what? I need another branch because I need another feature. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to remove the debugging section. Oh, I'm going to remove the debugging section because I don't want it. Okay. And then I'm like, yeah, we're going to add, we're going to commit. I'm not looking. I'm just flying blind. Work in progress. Git log. Oh, awesome. And then I realize, oh, I meant for that to be on the Scott branch, not the Scott another branch. And then I go git log. Oh man, is it there? Nope. Work in progress is not there. We're going to use. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Am I just going to do, yeah, right here is a little bit of work, whatever. But like, am I going to do all this work, all these 10 files? Like, shit. What do? In comes git cherry pick. So we use a couple commands we just learned. So we hit git log. All right, this is our work in progress commit. It's called a SHA value. You only need like first 7 for Git to know what you're talking about. Let's just copy the whole thing to be safety first. So then I'm going to check out to Scott because this is where I wanted it, and I'm going to cherry pick this baby. Boom. Now if I hit git log, we got that change. As you can see, the debugging section is not there in the right branch. But like, we just created another problem. I don't want it on the Scott another branch, right? So we're going to check out, we're going to learn a new command right now called git reset hard. There's a reset soft. It's kind of complicated. We don't need to go over this, but I think it's worth noting what reset hard is. So like, all right, I don't want this one anymore because I just cherry picked it into the right branch. So we're going to reset hard back to here. It's like, I want this one. Cool. So I'm going to go reset hard back to the one we want, right? Boom. So now, where are we going? Where's history ending? What's most recent on Scott another? Holy shit, updated docs. Perfect. We got rid of that whip one because in Scott, we had cherry picked it in. Boom. Now our branches are like perfect. Sometimes you're going to commit on main or master and you need to revert back. This is what you do. Another daily favorite. I'm giving you a ton of these. It's called stash and stash pop. So another daily favorite, stashing. We're stashing our changes and popping our changes. So let's say I just add a space and a line item and I'm like, yeah, I'll come back to that. Cool. But then I get sidetracked and I'm like, actually, I'm going to go look at, I want to make sure that something else works in this other branch. So if I get status here, I have some changes, right? So I'm just going to make these to make them clear. But I need to go to this other branch and test things out. And I don't want to lose my changes because I don't want to deal with it. So we're going to use stash. So it saved the working directory. So when I check status again, it's like nothing ever happened. So I can go back, I can go to my Scott another branch. I can play around and do whatever I want. Cool. Then I'm like, all right, I'm done. I need to go back. I'm good to go back to work to my Scott branch. Cool. So I'm in my Scott branch and I'm like, oh, where are my changes? We're going to use pop. So we use stash to stash them, to save them, but like put them away for a second. And then I pop them to pull them back out. So now we have our changes. I use this daily, hundreds of times a day. This is so helpful. I love it. So one of the most important commands you're going to need to learn, and it takes time, and the most catastrophic command that you can blow your work away or cause an issue on your team is merge and rebase. Merge should be used. There's a few times you would use rebase. Let's focus on merge. So what I did is I created a commit on github.com a minute ago. Okay. So I'm going to check git log locally. April 28th. It's June. It's not June. It's November 1st today. So obviously I don't have the changes locally, but I want to make sure my Scott branch is up to date with main, because when I push and make a pull request, I want to make sure that I'm good to go. So I use the merge command to do that. I use actually two commands. I fetch what's new in origin, so upstream, and then I want to merge what's in it to check what's up. So there's another way we can do this, and it's pull, but I have more trouble with pull, and this one I feel really good about, and I use it more often actually. So git fetch origin. Okay, cool. So it's gonna grab everything, and we'll see like, oh, cool. We had some stuff come in. Yeah. Oh, here's my branch that I created that we just talked about. And then what I'm gonna do is use git merge origin main to merge this change in to my Scott branch. Oh, we got a conflict. It's okay. That's gonna happen sometimes. So do I want to? Do I want to keep this or not? Okay, I wanna keep it like how I had it. Great. Don't worry about merging conflicts. We're just worrying about the merge command. It is something we'll need to learn. So let's check status. Do I need to do anything? Okay, so I need to commit the changes. And when you merge and what's it want to do? Git fix changes. Okay. Whoa. I've unmerged files. What does that mean? Oh. You're getting to see this in real time. Okay. So now I resolved the conflicts. So we use merge. So now when I go to git log, like what's going on? Okay, so it's merging origin main into Scott. Okay, cool. And then here's our November 1st change that we wanted in there. So just to recap, we use git fetch to grab the changes from a remote branch. Let's say me and you are on a team, you pushed a change, it got merged into main, and now I want that change. I can pull the change, or I can fetch origin and merge like we just did. So the other way I was talking about it is if we go to main, we still don't have latest. So I like to pull origin head. All caps head is the name of the branch you're currently on. So anywhere, and I'll show you that in push. So it's like, oh, I want to pull these changes. Oh, cool. So now I have one file change. So when I go to log, I have the November 1st change now. And then I can go to my branch and merge main into the other branch. I just did it a different way. We can check that out if you'd like. Twist my arm. So we're in Scott, merge. This is just local main. This means on GitHub main. Already up to date because we already did that. Don't stress. So merging, very important to your Git workflow. Two ways we can merge. We can merge local branches. We can merge origin branches. How we do that, so we can fetch merge, or we can pull merge. So the last command to bring us home is the push command. So we've been working locally, we're doing great stuff, we've done some awesome work. Well, now we want to make a pull request. Okay, how do I do that? We use the push command. So the push command is git push. We want to go to GitHub, so that's origin, and then head. So we never push to main. Remember that, or master. We always push to our own branch. This is when most of the issues happen, is when am I pushing to, blah, blah, blah. And head is just a shortcut for the current branch you're on. So I always use head. So when I do that, all my changes are going to go up. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to go to GitHub, compare pull request. There are our changes. And then you validate. Oh, cool. There's our changes. So we covered a ton in this video, but these are all of the commands I use on a daily basis, minus a couple niche ones that I don't think in your experience you should be focusing on. We covered git status, git add, git commit, git log, git push, git merge, git cherry pick, ton of others. And there's a few more, but this is the 80-20 of getting you started. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video and you got something out of it. If you like this video, I know you're going to like my last video where I talk about the one skill that you need to have a successful career as a software developer, linked here. Thank you so much for watching.